Hi guys, why does Nick Ferrari have such contempt for people who work in the public sector? Why does Nick Ferrari have such a problem with doctors being paid a reasonable sum of money? So the LBC host had Dr. Mike Henley on his show, where he grilled the medical professional on the salary of a hospital consultant. The doctor explained to Ferrari that while £145,000 a year may seem high, in Ireland it's almost double that. This at a time when the NHS is struggling to retain staff. Now, Nick pushing this point is extremely ironic, and I'll explain why after the clip.
What is the average salary for a consultant, Doctor?
So I haven't got the average off the top of my head, but
it's £145,000 a year.
The starting salary in the UK...
That's not a bad salary, is it, Doctor?
The starting salary in the UK is about 109,000. If you're in Belfast, you're starting on 109.
Okay.
You only need to move an hour down the road to Dublin to be being paid about 200,000.
Well, I wonder if we could go back a minute to point to my observation. £145,000 isn't a bad salary, is it, Doctor?
Let's translate some of those numbers into actually...
Would you give me a comment on whether you think it's a bad salary?
It's not where it was in 2008. We're not.
I didn't suggest it was, but it's not a bad average salary.
We're not 25% worse off, and compared to other comparative professions, compared to the average worker, our pay is down absolutely, and it's down against inflation by 25% since 2008. We're not working less hard. It's not fair to simply remove that pay.
What is the average?
Oh my goodness, he's pathetic, isn't he? What he wants the doctor to say is, yes, it's a bad salary. And then Nick Ferrari can go on his rant about how, well, what about your average worker? You know, they're earning much less than £145,000. You should be grateful for £145,000 because the average person is earning very much less than that, completely missing the point, or the 2 points. First of all, that a medical consultant, a hospital consultant, has a huge amount of responsibility. And they've had their pay freeze during the time when the Conservatives were in power. But also the other point that Dr. Mike Henley had raised is that in the UK, the starting salary is £109,000. But if you went to Dublin, you could earn almost double that. So how is the NHS supposed to hold on to staff if Ireland is paying more, if Australia is paying more, if Canada is paying more, if other countries around the world are paying more for hospital consultants? How is the NHS supposed to hold on to those staff? You know, many people may not be able to move, but if you're a young person, you may be able to leave and say, well, I'm going to hell with the UK. I'll go and work in Ireland, or I'll work in another country around the world. But the ironic point about all of this is that Nick Ferrari earns a lot more than a hospital consultant. Now, it's difficult to find information because LBC doesn't really release this information, but somebody has determined that Nick Ferrari earns between £40,000 and £80,000 a month. Not a year, a month. So let's put this on the scale. You have a hospital consultant who has huge responsibility. They hold people's lives in their hands, and they earn, on average, £145,000 a year. Now, some of them are probably living in London, which is very difficult to live with a salary of £145,000 in London. It's extremely expensive to live in London. But let's say, £145,000 hospital consultant on one side, and Nick Ferrari on between £40,000 and £80,000 per month on the other. Who is more important to society? Who should be earning the bigger salary? Well, according to the media, Nick Ferrari should be earning a bigger salary. According to Nick Ferrari, he's more important than a medical doctor. He's more important than a hospital consultant. He's more important than a nurse. Because he's earning huge amounts of money. And I presume Nick Ferrari would say, well, it's well deserved. So a hospital consultant on £145,000 is not deserving a pay increase, according to Nick Ferrari. But Nick Ferrari, earning 4 or 5 times that maybe, is definitely deserving it. It's ridiculous. I honestly don't understand the value that Nick Ferrari adds to any conversation. He just wants to trick people into answering questions that suit him. So he can go on a rant about how, well, the average person is earning a lot less than £145,000. So you should be happy. You should be grateful. Remember, it's me, a taxpayer, that's funding your salary. And then, of course, you notice that he missed the point or avoided talking about how, well, if you don't pay people enough, they'll go somewhere else. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.